Hey beauties, it's your beautiful big girl Brittany, and welcome to my channel, Beautiful Brittany. So today I want to talk about knowing what your fight is for. I was listening to something by Judge Toller, and I love that woman. I mean, I could listen to her speak all day long. Like, if I could win a trip to like be around her for like a year, I would just soak up everything that she says. She just got so much wisdom. She says things with like so much charisma and just intuition, and she's just great. I love her so much. I would be around her. I would just be just soaking up everything that she says. But she says something along the lines of people forget what their fight is for. Like, and she was speaking about she had to put I think her younger brother in prison. He didn't want to do like probation. He didn't want to have to like apologize or do any remediation or anything for whatever he did. He was like, let me just do my year of jail time and be done with it. So I'm assuming she was the judge on his case, and that's what they decided to do. But she was just saying, like, Black people, I believe, and Black men in particular, just don't know what their fight is about. Like so much anger, hostility, and stuff, and like it gets diluted with like, what is your fight for? What is your fight about? And it just got me thinking about, yeah, like I get that everything that I've been dealing with lately is about that. You know, it's about like, what are we fighting for? Like, what is the fight for? And I think I can always see like these internal struggles with people that is always like fighting for something or fighting about something, and my reaction to that is never like the one that they want, because my whole thing is just like, isn't everything like, shouldn't, like in my mind, like, isn't everything about like self-improvement, like bettering yourself? Or maybe that's just the journey I'm on. I just look at the world like that and everything. So everything that I'm attracted to nowadays, everything that I want to soak in, everyone that I want to be around, I want to exude just like self-improvement, self-awareness, accomplishing our dreams, and bettering ourselves. I'm always watching motivational videos and decluttering videos, things that help my ADHD, because that's an issue for me, things that will help me be a better parent, things that will help me break generational curses. These are things that I am really interested in and that I am like absorbent and obsessed with these days, as I'm trying to better myself. I'm getting older, and I realize that I have not accomplished the dreams that I really wanted. I have accomplished milestones, but not, I've always had this thing in my soul, like this urge, if you guys know what I'm talking about, like just what I wanted to do when I was younger, and I haven't accomplished those dreams. You understand, like the big dreams. And me trying to stay consistent with this YouTube channel is one of them, to just like get to my dreams. But I mean, I have so many issues and so much trauma I'm trying to uncover and to go through, and I'm trying to figure out why I've been overweight for 30 years, and I'm trying to crack that code. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm like out here trying to break generational curses. I have 4 family members that passed away this year that like took a toll on me and just really had me thinking. Some of them I was really close with, others I wasn't. But my aunt in particular passed away, and that one really affected me. Even though we weren't like close in my later years, we were close when I was younger. I don't want to cry. And I felt like I took her for granted, not to mention she just had like a whole lot of health problems that I was unaware of. And I wish I had more time with her. I also wish I asked her more questions. It also just made me just aware of just like what we're putting in our bodies, what we're doing to our bodies. Just made a lot of things come to light for me, you know, just like in my journey. So just everything in my life right now is about that. Just being a better person and accomplishing my dreams in a nutshell, right? But I'm talking to people, and I realize I just get into like these little arguments or like just disagreements, sort of kind of conflict, right? And tension in these small situations, just with everyday people I'm passing or having to deal with in my everyday life, because I'm realizing that they're not there yet. They're not at the point where it's like, what is the fight for? You know, it's like the barista at Starbucks that is trying to like give you, like, charge you extra or whatever for a drink or something. And it's like, but like, if you're not here for the people, who are you for? Because Starbucks is definitely not putting the money into your pocket. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I just, those type of people are just always like, ugh. For instance, yeah, I went to McDonald's the other day, and like, so my cousin works at McDonald's, and he gave me like all these free tickets for these free McDonald's meals. And I had actually seen that on the card it needs a signature and a date, right? But I didn't pay it no mind because I've used it. I used it like 3 times that night. I got one, my daughter got one, and my cousin got a meal in the same car, and the managers didn't ask anything about it. So another day I went to go use it, and I go to this McDonald's quite often. I have to stop eating McDonald's. It's disgusting. I don't even know where this McDonald's obsession came from because I used to not eat McDonald's. I used to eat it when I was younger and then stopped eating it and went back to it. But anyway, I don't even need to be there anyway. And I really should have went home, and that probably was God telling me to take your butt home. So I wanted to, but I just didn't feel like cooking. Before I get off topic, that's a whole nother situation. But a lady that I knew, grew up with, she knows my family, like friend of the family. She worked at McDonald's, knew her. I give her the car, and she like, oh no, this gotta be signed. I'm like, well, I gotta pay. I mean, just sign it real quick. Like, I didn't put my whole order in. I'm not about to pay for like a whole meal. The reason why I came is because the meal was free. I don't even need to be eating McDonald's anyway. I'm only paying for the darn thing. So no, right? And she was just making it a thing, and I was like, are you serious? And I was like, she was like, just go back to McDonald's you got it from. I'm here and I ordered now in this line, and I just couldn't believe it because, like, I can understand you not wanting to get in trouble with or something, but it wasn't about that. She's black. You're black, and not to mention you're lower income. Why? Why are you being Mrs. McDonald's? Well, I just will never understand those people. I'm like, here, take the sausage, girl. You can if you do it like this, you can get a discount. And like, just anything. I don't know. Watch out for people that's just not overly helpful. I'm sorry. When they can be, when it don't hurt to be, when it's better for you. It's just like, what are you doing? What is the fight for? You understand? Because you have to know that you're overworked and you don't get paid as much, and you have to know, you understand what I'm saying? So if you're not for the people, then who are you for? But anyway, so I went through the drive-thru. I'm like, okay, I'll come back. I'll go to the other one. I was like, I'm not going to the other one. Me and her about to have a problem. And I was trying not to like go there with her because I knew the lady, but I'm like, is she's like, and not for nothing, right? I don't want to mention this, but I'm going to mention it, right? I'm a social smoker. There's weeks where I don't have a cigarette, and then I might go out, have a drink or something, and I want a cigarette. Like, I'll buy a pack and keep them in the car for whenever I might be having a crazy ass day, and I'll go smoke a cigarette in the car or something. Or like I said, if I'm out drinking, which is rarely ever, because I barely ever go out, I have a cigarette. So anyway, when I'm talking to her, when I went to the drive-thru before, not this day, another day, she sees it in my bag, and she's like, oh, can I? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, you can have it. Take the rest of the pack, because I don't need them anyway. I don't really smoke like that, and I shouldn't. I need to stop this, especially when it's not a habit. It's like, Brittany, you need to knock it off. And I tell myself that a lot, but whatever. It's not that much of a deal, but it's not like food where like I just can't get my shit together with it. So it's something that is not that hard. I should probably be leaving it alone. But anyway, she was like, oh no, I want to take it. I'm like, no, take it. I think it was my last cigarette. I was like, you can take it. I don't really smoke like that anyway. And it was just going to sit in the cart, and I wanted to get rid of it anyway. I hate clutter in the cart, and it's also a nasty, dirty habit. So I was like, have it. No problem. She needed it. I didn't. I'm like, that's just who I am, right? For me to roll around the next day, or it might have been a few days later or whatever, but y'all get the point. And then to be like, oh no, this has to be signed. I don't know. I don't want to get. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, just call the manager and tell them somebody gave, like, I don't know why she was making a big deal. So I went around, signed the darn pen, signed it myself, and put the date on it because I don't have time for her. Went back around, and I was like, here. I went to go get it signed. And then she was like, oh, just pull up to the front. I don't know. It's the manager got to do it. I don't think that they're not going to do that. And I'm just like, I went up to the front, younger manager girl. She was like, oh, let me have it. Here goes your meal. Have a good day. What was her problem? What, like, and like, I don't know if she's not thinking. I think also that like, they don't know how to put it in the system. So some people that got like, I don't know, certain issues or whatever, and they don't want to have to deal with the hassle, but it's like, deal with the hassle for me because you know darn well that supervisor is putting you through, McDonald's is putting you through a big old hassle, and they're not paying you extra for it. Then like, help the people that help you. That's just my whole thing, and it's not just because it was me, her. I be upset when other people do it, just to random people. I don't get that. Like, why are you giving somebody a hard time when it's not coming out of your pocket and you can help people? Look, we all workers around here. Like, I don't get it. But that was my whole thing. What are you fighting for? What was she fighting for? I don't think that she realized. I don't think she thought about it. I think she was in her groove and she's like, I'm at work, and I think that she thought that was going to be harder. But it's like, if you're not thinking like that, then what type of life are you living? So that's just one example. Another one, I got this coworker, this friend, I should call her, but because she thinks like this too, she's not. She's an ex-coworker. We both don't work at the job anymore, but we still keep in contact, and we might go out for like brunch or dinner or something every now and then, and we talk on the phone a lot. But she's got a lot of things going on, so I can't really consider her a friend, and this is one of them. But anyway, I had this friend, and she dates guys for money. She dates guys for money. She made it very clear, and she'll just tell me like little situations and stuff, and I'm trying to explain to her, like, in the grand scheme of things, does that really matter? Is this the person that you really want to be with? Like, it's just be an argument or something small or stupid. As my mom would call it, 2 cigarettes. She always, I think there was one time this guy that was walking past my mom's house, and he was like on the phone or in front of her arguing with his girlfriend, like, no, I put the cigarettes on the dresser, you didn't get it. Like, they was like it was life or death. And it's like, if you ain't got nothing else to do, then you are arguing about 2 cigarettes. So we always use that phrase, 2 cigarettes, when like people are just doing all the rah-rah for all the wrong reasons. And it's like, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your life? So I just find myself in these just like conflicts, sometimes internal, because I don't really express it to other people, because now I with my ADHD, I noticed that I have impulses where I just be saying stuff that later on I'm like, dang, I didn't really have to go there. But I didn't realize, like, I'm always talking deep. I'm always talking about like your soul and what do you want to do with your life and how do you want to better yourself and accomplish your dreams. So when anybody is talking about something where I see a flaw, I'm like trying to explore that and trying to get them to be self-aware. But I'm not a therapist. I shouldn't be trying to therapize people, but it's just how my brain works. So I be careful. I'm trying to get better of not to pull myself into conversations like those. But it's so hard. And I'm about to tell you all 3 different stories. So with my friend, what was I about to say with her? Not her whole issue with men, but she goes to the doctors a lot. She is always looking for like a medical fix, and I think that she just has a lot of trauma going on and a lot of unresolved issues. But she's just always looking for the medicine. Like, oh, I need this, I need that, and it's like doctors have kind of told her, like, why don't you see a psychiatrist? I have mentioned, like, hey, why don't you maybe talk to somebody? She's already told me, but then she'll go back and be like, oh no, it's not in my head, it's real. And I'm just like, it's like, if you don't resolve your trauma, then you can't even be a good friend, you can't be a good parent, you can't be a good coworker, you can't show up the way you want to be in this world, and then people start treating you like that. And I've heard her mention like a lot of times that her friends don't, like, she felt like her friends will only hang out with her when they have something planned. And I'm in my head, I'm like, yeah, because she's got a lot of trauma going on, and it reflects in her friendship. Even me, I'm nervous, I'm scared. I won't plan certain things with her because I'm relying, like, you never know. Those people that you never know when they're going to swing left or swing right. You don't know, like, which way the wind's going to blow. So I have to keep you at a distance because I don't really know. So then, yeah, and then it does feel like a one-sided friendship. So she's like, you have to find out what's going on with you. You owe it to everyone around you and yourself to deal with your trauma and get yourself together. But trying to bring it back to like the fight, I don't know where her fight is. Like, when I tried to, like, when we talk about things, like, she's kind of quiet when I'm telling her about, like, just, I'm trying to figure out this. With my daughter, I'm trying to figure out this, like, this bad habit I got. Like, I need to get this together. I can't figure out, like, why this is this, or I need to do that. She's not really, like, she's kind of like, oh yeah, this guy, he might got some money, but I'm like, oh, it's just always something about money and guys, and it always seemed like they not ever giving her what she needs, but it's constantly like, oh, I'm trying to like, I don't even know. I'm not doing a good job explaining this, I don't think, at all. But what is the fight for? I don't know. Like, what are you fighting for? And it made me think about that. And I know, like I said, my fight is to get myself together, to break generational curses, to get myself healthy, to be able to accomplish my dreams and find balance in life, to experience joy instead of immediate gratification, to look at my life and be happy at where I'm at and happy at what I've been through versus regretful, fearful, and stressful. To just do the things I want to do and do them enough where I'm proud of myself and I feel like I'm progressing and not stagnant. Those are my dreams. Those are my goals. So when people are talking about stuff in the world that just don't matter, like my mom, and we just talk about anything. She was just telling me about Diddy and I'm just like, I don't really watch the news. I don't even keep up with the Joneses or what's up going on in social media unless like I'm watching my little videos and they'll pop up and it might catch me and I get into a little trash TV or like trash, vlogs or whatever if it's like about somebody I knew and I might catch it, but I don't really got time to worry about it. First of all, he's trash. It's a mess. But it's like, give me something I can use. I guess is it just me? I'm getting tired of the conversations where we're just talking about stuff that like I'm over here fighting for my life and I just feel like people around me are just, I don't know, but maybe they're also at where they want to be and maybe I'm not. So that's where that is. And I'm like, I don't know what that's about, but I'm have less and less patience and tolerance for those conversations. Less and less. There's one friend, she's always calling me to like do something, but we never do it. And I'm just like, text me. Like, you could text me. I'm realizing that I have to what do they call it? Like protecting your time and your peace. And I didn't realize that I did not have boundaries like at all with anybody. And that's why I get myself into a world of trouble and then I get overwhelmed because I don't create boundaries around things, around my peace, around my time. If the phone rings, I just answer it. And then I get myself worked up about a topic that I didn't even care about, that I didn't even bring into because my soul is not at rest. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's because I'm still on my fight. I'm still trying to figure things out and I'm trying to be a better me. And that's what I want to absorb around me. So when everybody else is talking, I'm just like, what? Like I got into like a disagreement with the doctor. This doctor, she told me like the medicine I wanted, I needed. And then she agreed that would be best for me. I was already on it, but I had to go to a new doctor because I left my job. So I didn't get the job insurance. So I was switched back on like state insurance. So if you know, that's a whole hot mess. And this is why I'm having this issue with the doctor. Black doctor too, and she gets it, and we had a whole conversation about I don't want to take a lot of medicines, and I was on this medicine, and this is really working good for my ADHD, yada, yada, yada. And she was like, oh, well, we could do this, but it might do a pre-authorization. And I'm like, okay, well, then do they always like caution you when it's a pre-auth, and it's because it's a lot of issues, like it's a lot of back and forth with the insurance company for them, but it's not that hard. It's very simple. They tell you they tell you no because you didn't give enough information, and they tell you what information they need, then you give the information, but the doctors don't read it, they don't know exactly, or they miss the paper, and then they do it again and they don't fill out something and then the insurance denies it. And they're like, oh, they denied it, and then I'll call and be like, oh, why'd you deny it? And they're like, oh, because they didn't fill out the bottom portion, or oh, they didn't do a drug test, and then it's me following up with the insurance company and follow up with the doctors because the doctors rather just. So I am giving this doctor a hard time, right? And she all because I didn't realize I'm chipping away at this doctor's patience by me being proactive because I'm the get it done type of person, right? I'm like, get it done by any means necessary. Especially I've learned to advocate for myself when I'm low income and you have low medical insurance and all of that. Just a sec. Get some more water. Yeah, so the doctor was getting like, and then she tried to put it on me, which really made me really upset, which really messed with my anxiety, and kind of like always being blamed for something and feeling like nobody believes me. I hate that. She was like, oh, we didn't get your drug test. You didn't take it. You need to take that right away. I've taken the drug test, and and I had to call her and say, I took that drug test a week ago. Do you understand? Like, it was just a problem. So long story short, I had to like tell her like you're getting upset at me because I'm asking you to do your job. I had to keep um following up with her. She's like, oh, they just denied it. I'm like, no, I called the insurance company and just I wasn't even trying to be combative, but because the insurance is telling me, oh, they just need to do X, Y, and Z, I'm calling her and she's like, oh, I did that, and they're saying you need something else, and I'm like, well, they're just saying. Like, what else can I do? You're telling me it's denied and it's a no, and I know I need this medication. You're the only one that can give me this medication. And the insurance company is telling me, oh, you just need to do X, Y, and Z, and then they'll approve the medication. So I have to call you and follow back up. But she's getting frustrated because it's a headache, and she doesn't want to deal with it. And I realize a lot of people, especially me working as a career coach and working like with the welfare system and everything, I noticed that a lot of lower income people, a lot of Black people just give up and they just take the first no and they're okay with it, even when it would hurt them, and even when they don't appeal things, they don't ask the second question, they don't follow up on it, they just like, oh, I can't do this, and it'll be really detrimental to their well-being, their benefits in their life. And I'm the person like, oh no, by any means necessary, we're gonna get this thing done. I will appeal something. I will ask for a supervisor. I am that person. You can call me the Black Karen if you want, but I ain't asking for something that I don't deserve, and I'm not asking for nothing that would hurt you. But I realize too with like the state insurance and state funding benefits and all of that, a lot of these workers like to fall back on the fact that there's so many people and the fact that people won't follow up, that they don't even halfway need to do their job. So when you ask them to do their job, it's you that's the problem. So the doctor was like, oh, and don't you know, she then went to say, after I did all of that, she then went to say, oh, we don't feel comfortable prescribing you this medication. Yep. After I did like all of that, that was her last answer. After she prescribed it already for, I think, 2 months. And like we kept going, like it kept having issues with the pre-authorization or whatever. She was like, oh, we're not going to prescribe it anymore. Because every month she wanted me to come in and take a drug test. Which was fine. I get it because I was on a stimulant, right? But it was that, and it was just this. I realized I was having a lot of issues that whole year. This was just it was almost a year ago, with a lot of people like this, and it was like, what are you fighting for? Like, I get that you're frustrated and you're tired, but come on, half the people in your practice, your patients is not asking for you to do all of this. They don't care either way. They let you pump with medicine, or they don't even come to their appointment. So I had the same thing as a worker. Like, I would put my energy into the people that really wanted my help, and I was really there for it. The other ones that just needed to do whatever they do to get their benefits, I'm like, cool. Like, it don't no sweat off my back. And I'm like, give it to them. They need it. I'll get you all the benefits. You don't give me a headache. Cool. But what was your fight for, doctor? What was your fight for? Because here I am, and you're an African-American doctor. I'm an African-American woman. And you know how hard it is to get medication. And you know how hard it is with the stigmatisms and everything around substance abuse and everything. But this is too much of a headache. So you leaned on the side that was easier for you. And she knew it because I said, you know what? She started getting loud with me. And I said, doctor, I think you're getting overwhelmed at this point, and this is a touchy subject. I said, I'm gonna let you go ahead and do what you got to do, and I'll have to deal with whatever is going to come at this point. I said, because at this point you're not trying to help me. You're trying to argue the fact when I'm telling you all you have to do is submit it this way or call the insurance company. And I said, I'm gonna have to get off the phone, and I hung up on her, and I said I'm gonna say goodbye and I'm gonna hang up right now, and I hung up. She called me back and she said something. She was like something along the lines of like apology, and then she tried to do it, but she gave up. At the end result was, we're not comfortable prescribing this medication and we're going to go, even though they were fine and they were going to prescribe it. It was just a mess, and I can't deal with her. And you're Black and you're young, and it's just like, what was that for? What was all, like, what's going on? Just, what was your fight? Who was your fight for? If you decided to go to medical school, and like, I think now she's attendee at the doctor's office. First of all, no doctors stay there more than 3 years. That's how they do it. I guess they go there to get their attending or the residency. I don't know how it goes, but then they leave. So I don't even go to that doctor that much because I think I'm getting older at the point where I should get a good doctor. And every time I think I find one, it's like their last couple of months and of staying there. So I just go really to get my blood work and stuff. And then I go home and I research, I Google, and I listen to these holistic doctors like Dr. Bobby Price, and just a lot of other people. And I try to fix a lot of things with my eating. I'm trying to anyway. Like, I understand that that's the right way to go, but my old habits is stuck tight, stuck on me tight, stuck on this so tight, and I'm trying to get through it. But what is your fight about? What was your fight for? If it's not for the people, if it's not for the betterment of the community, of people, if it's not for well-being, you knew that this is, I'm your patient, and you knew that this was best for my well-being, and you decided to take the easy way out for the company. Again, what did you do it for? You know, like, these doctors, these people are not like Amsterdam people. They are not like, how can I help? Where I love that. I started watching Amsterdam because that's so me. And I just realized people don't think like that. People get so stuck in like the rules or the little policies of the small company that they can't see the bigger picture. They can't see past the rules for the bigger picture, and I just don't get it. I'll never get those type of people. But I realize that some people are flooded with trauma, distractions, a lot of things that they don't know what their fight is for. And that's what Judge Toller was saying. And it just made me want to make this video. This video is getting long. But one more thing, I'm talking to this guy, dating this guy. He tested me. And he is, how do I say, he has a lot of, I liked him at first because he had a lot of opinions. He had good conversation. And I got a lot of opinions about a lot of stuff, as you could tell, in the world. And I loved it. Like, I used to talk to a guy that had no substance, right? That just, like, didn't. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, our conversations was good, and I really liked that about him. He had a lot of opinions, and he's not really wrong. He wasn't wrong about a lot of stuff. Like, we agreed on a lot of stuff, but when it would come to men and women in relationships, we bumped heads. And it wasn't because I disagree with anything he was saying. This is my overall feeling, and I'm going to try to give you some of the things he's saying without bashing him or saying too much. And somebody else let me know if you could pick up what I'm putting down, because I think this is why, because I get into like little issues with a lot of people about a lot of things that they believe, and I think I'm like, Brittany, what is your main one thing? And I think just a lot of the things on the world, and I just see a lot of people arguing on Instagram and like TikTok and YouTube, and my whole thing is like, who cares? Who cares? Where's the betterment of the people? Can we talk about getting people actual good mental health and helping people find their joy in life and get over trauma? And I'm just like, if it's not about that, it doesn't matter to me. So it's just hilarious when people are trying to fight. But no, men do this and women do this, and who's right and who's wrong? And I'm like, who cares? And they're like, Trump over Kamala, and I'm just like, who cares? I don't care about those things. Maybe at some point I will, like, maybe obviously in my life it'll have to come in conjunction with like these worldly things, because I live in the world. I'm obviously not like I'm not in no man's world and just like living out here, even though I kind of feel like I might want to just like live off the grid at some point in my life. I don't know, but it'd be interesting to, I don't know, give it a try. What am I trying to say? Yeah, it's not like, I just feel like you could side with one or the other, but I think it's more important that I just don't like a lot of the things. I'm just like, why? And I think more I start looking into the psychology of the person that cares about it as much. So I think that's where my head goes. Like, I just love like how people think and why they think, and I can almost tell like you care a lot about this topic because you got these, like, you know what I mean? Like, for me, it just that's, I don't know if that's my gift or superpower, but I'm just like, oh, I can see where you got some trauma or issues at by the things that you really care about, the things that you talking about. It just says a lot about you. You know what I mean? So some people, like, in that with ADHD, always think like you overreact or something, but I think sometimes we can just see and we know, and we could kind of play the tape forward. It's almost like a premonition where we just know where this is going to go. So it's no need for it to go past this argument or disagreement, because I can now see what you believe, how you will walk, how you talk, and the things that you would do. And I just know that it's not the path that I would want to take. So it's no need. But the world makes you feel like you shouldn't, that's a quitter. You shouldn't just write people off because you have one little disagreement, but sometimes that's all you need to know. But because I also got that other little risky devil on my shoulder, I keep going, I keep listening, I keep talking, I'll keep being with people for a while, until I know. Even though I can tell by one conversation that we're going to have a problem later on down the road. Comment down below if y'all are like that too. Like, I could tell, but the society wore me down a little bit. I'm older, and society has, I got some war marks on me from society. So I still tend to be like, oh, well, maybe I didn't have to do that. Or like, sometimes if I was wrong in the situation, I would think that that's a reason why I should still continue to talk to the person, even though, and then I would have to and then it'll take me a while to really think it through and be like, yeah, you might have didn't handle that right, but your feelings weren't wrong, and your intuition wasn't wrong, and you probably still should let that person go. But because I done blew up or handled it completely wrong, I'm like, oh, well, I should probably apologize, or I didn't have to do all that like that. But the fact still remains that it was a bad seed all along. But anyway, y'all, back to what I was saying about the fight. So this guy, his thing is, why am I having a hard time explaining this? Oh yeah, women. Like, he listens to Fresh and Fit. He listens to Kevin Samuels, the late Kevin Samuels, because he passed away. And he just believes that, like, yeah, women are delusional, women be doing this, women be doing that on certain topics, like, not obviously overall, but no, kind of overall. And like, we had a couple heated discussions or arguments, and the crazy thing is, a lot, like, I think I excused it a lot of time because we was arguing about the same thing. We were arguing about the same thing, but I could tell he didn't understand, like, but it got heated. I'm like, why is it getting heated when we're agreeing on the same thing? But my issue was, yeah, you're right. I feel like, yeah, you're right. Women do be doing some stuff, some things that are delusional. Women can be a bit much. Yeah, we can be yappy. Yeah, men do also need should be treated like a king. Men also do have feelings, and men also shouldn't be the one to always have to cater to a woman's feelings all the time. He kind of believes men should just let a woman, women need to get it together, and they don't need to feed into like all our little anecdotes and our little, how we be having issues, like, why do you bring me something to eat even though I said no, and having an attitude because he didn't call me back, or just stuff like that. He just feels like, no, men should just stand strong, and women just need to get it together. And if the men stand strong and don't feed into that and put them in a place, then women will respect that. Because if they cater to that, then women will just not want them anyway because they're soft. Weird shit like that. Whatever. I don't think he's wrong about a lot of, not like that specific stuff, but just to kind of give you an overall of like his thought process and what he believes. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. But this is my issue with it. You didn't, like, every time we talk or we chill in his car, whatever, he'll put on like a Fresh and Fit. He'll put on like a relationship thing. And my thing is, so obviously this is something that you're like me, obsessed with, like how I'm obsessed with like self-help videos and all of this. He's like that. Like, he wants to talk about it. He wants to get into it. He wants to share his views, and he's very adamant about his views. And then he also wants to convince you of the views. And my whole thing is, how does that help you be a better you? Let's say you are right. So we got an argument. I'm like, okay, let's say you're right. Then what? He's like, what do you mean? Then what? Then women can stop being delusional. I said, okay, and then what? Then they can take accountability for what? Because it's their fault. Then they can say it's their fault. Okay, Then what? So they can take accountability. I'm like, okay. So he's getting heated because he gets to where I'm getting. I'm like, I don't understand why you care so much about this topic. Not that you don't care so much about the topic, but this doesn't benefit you in any way. And then this is his thing. Now, he did let me know he is not ready for a relationship. He just wants to be friends to start dating, and that's cool because I wasn't either. That's fine. But we were arguing specifically about this specific topic, and it wasn't the fact that I felt like he was wrong. It's the fact that I'm like, you have other things to worry about, and it doesn't benefit you, and it doesn't benefit this. And if we're friends, we don't have to be in a relationship, right? But if we're friends, my whole thing is, if you're dating, then you're looking for someone. And if you're looking for someone, isn't the whole end game being happy, being a successful, flourishing, healthy, well-balanced relationship? Isn't that like, because I was sending him a lot of the relationship videos about like guys like understanding like women's feelings and just catering to that and validating the feelings and all of that and stuff like that, right? So I was like hitting him heavy with some of those videos too, because I just see there's this guy on TikTok that I watched that just be doing the interactions, role playing between the woman and the husband, and he's just funny. So I'm just sending him a lot of those to kind of see what he thinks about those too. So maybe like, I don't know why he doesn't send me his fresh and fit videos, but when we're together, then he'll watch it and then he'll kind of want to talk about it. So whatever. So we kind of got into those conversations, but every time we did, it kind of was like an argument. And I think that's my whole thing. Like, if I understand, I don't feel in his conversations, his body language, his tone of voice, when he's mentioning these stuff, he is not saying it for like, if women can understand this, then we could we could be better, and then we could be in a healthy relationship. You understand? Like, his whole thing is like, women are just wrong. They can just understand they're wrong, and they're delusional, and they're not going to get a good man, but they're not going to get this. And I'm like, okay, I understand it. Let's say I understand that. Trying to say like, because then they can understand this, and then it would be able to get along better, because I could sit there and say, if men validate our feelings, it's just because we feel unheard, or we just feel like we're not connected in a way. So even if I come up with something that's very small, like, oh, I noticed that you only text me when I text you. If I said something like that, he will try to tell me like, oh no, that's not true. Deny it completely, because it just feels like it's something small and stupid to bring up, and just block it like that, instead of validating the fact that I feel some type of way about that. Oh, I didn't know you felt some type of way. Yeah, I can text you more. Is it that hard? No, he will argue the point, argue the fact. They say people, but do you see how I can explain? Because then if you validate me, I understand that you didn't mean to hurt me, and I just feel some type of way, and then I can go check my feelings, and then we can better communicate, and then now I know what you're actually meaning and how you feel and what you're thinking when you do it, and we could have a successful relationship, situationship, whatever, dating, whatever. If we're not, you understand what I'm saying? I can clearly articulate that. However, he cannot, and I do not see Fresh and Fit doing that. I don't want to get into a whole Fresh and Fit debate, because I have not watched them enough to like really talk about their channel. But that was my whole point to him. I can say my whole message in that is for the betterment of the relationship, so that we can have a successful relationship where I'm not feeling taken advantage of or unheard, and you're not feeling taken advantage of or unheard. However, his whole wordplay is not that. It's all of women. And when anybody talks as in a problem with just one thing, is not trying to have good communication. They're not trying to resolve things for a solution. So that's what I mean when I say, what is the fight for? Because I think him and channels like that get that confused. Like, what is your fight for? What is your whole main purpose? And I think there's a lot of trauma there, if like just speaking about this one individual where you have some issues and you feel like you wasn't heard by women or whatever is going on, and you just feel like it's the issue, and you want that to be validated, and I think most women wouldn't. But even when I was trying to validate it, he still couldn't accept it, because I was also trying to tell him like, but in the grand scheme of things, Why is that why does that matter? Like, why are you worried about that so much? And maybe I can take that. I can see that. You understand? So, but like, then what can you do? You know, like Judge Choler said this too. It's kind of like she said that she was complaining to her mom about like issues that she was having in her marriage, and her mom said, "You change. He's not going to change. You need to change." And she was like, "I don't think I should have to change. Why should I have to change? I'm not the one that's wrong." And I can't remember what the thing was over, but she changed. She changed how she responded, and she changed she worked on her own self, and then it made him change, because you can't change anybody's behavior or reactions. You know what I mean? You can let them know how you feel, how it's affecting you, but you move in such a way that it doesn't control you anymore. You understand what I'm saying? And that part of self-awareness, that part in my journey where I am looking for solutions for happiness, solutions for better communication, better relationships with people, with human beings. And if that's if that's in a relationship with a man, then that's great. But if it's not, then maybe this is just a friendship. Maybe it could be a relationship. Maybe it's just an acquaintanceship. But whatever it is, I want good communication between us about whatever it is. Is that crazy? You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't feel like that was his view. He was, I don't know if it's starting to feel very mommy issues, women issues. Do you hate women? Because you're not really, you're not, everything that you're saying is like, okay, then what? Like, it's not for the betterment. You understand? It wasn't, his goal wasn't for a healthy relationship. And I'm assuming that Fresh and Fit, and this is why I don't watch people like this, just with any views, because I feel like we forget what the fight is for. It like gets their points and their I feel like their drive and their power to like shame whatever the opponent is, and the debate is like overpowers the whole fight and reason for it. And isn't it all for unity? Isn't it all supposed to be? Janice, like even in campaigns, like do we forget, like in a presidential election, like isn't one arguing, correct me if I'm wrong, arguing because they're saying, no, Democrats, this is the way, I feel like this is the way to make the economy better. This is the way to make the world better and the world come together. And Republicans saying, no, this is the way. Don't you truly, like, I'm like, even I see the debate is like getting like, well, you don't go with them, they do X, Y, and Z, and don't go with them, they do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, dang, like, did we just all lose and forget the whole point of everything? The whole points of debates, the whole point of, because at one point I thought we believed that this was the betterment for the world, the utopia or whatever. This was the betterment of, for the world and for the situation and to fix this. But I feel like now people are just arguing their solutions, just arguing their issues, just to make a point and just to shame people because they got their own trauma, not really to fix unity, not really to I hope I'm saying the right words, to make a unified union, to bring people together, y'all. Bring people together. Isn't that why we're here? Isn't that why the world goes around? I don't know. Am I crazy? But that was my whole issue with him. I like, what is your fight for, my dude? I didn't get it. And I think that's why we're kind of done. Like, we were only just dating anyway, so we text every now and then. But I'm like slowly off him just because I'm going here and you're going there. And it's just, and then I had to say to him, and I felt really bad, and I wasn't trying to emasculate him, but one of the last arguments, and now I think he knows not to try to get me in these conversations anymore, and I know as well, like we clearly just see different, so let's not get into these conversations because it got very heated. His last thing was about like masculine, how females is not going, like, no man wants to deal with a masculine woman. No man, and her masculine energy, and by masculine, like being independent, being like, for some reason now there's this big thing where men don't like women to be very well educated or have a good job or be employed and all of this stuff. I'm guessing we should just be at home just making ourselves pretty, waiting for a man. We should really be putting all that energy into finding a good man because we are getting older and our value is getting lower. and we just start chipping away at we get less and less points as life goes on, because you might get more kids, or you might have a second marriage, or you're getting older and less likely to reproduce, and your body's getting worse, and all of these things are just chipping away at you. So you should really be using your youth to get yourself together for everything a man wants, which is really just looks, and someone that can cook, and someone that can stay home and take care of the kids. Don't waste your time and energy on education, success, independence, because you'll never be happy and you'll never find a man, because men are not looking for that. They don't care about what education you have. They don't care about what you accomplish in your life. They don't care about what you know, what you can do. They just want to know that you can submit, be a housewife, and never leave them. And okay, there's actually some truth to that, and I get that, and I'm with that. But again, I just feel like, you know what, I don't like, these people believe in God. Maybe not, like, there's faith and there's just law of attraction. I just feel like what's meant for you was meant for you. And even though technically, yeah, I get what you're saying, it's just like I'm less and less likely to find the good, guy, because I'm getting older and I am constantly getting further and further in my education. I'm not getting married and I don't have any more kids, but I still do have one, and I am overweight. So I understand that, like, I'm, less of these things, but I still feel like even if I'm 50, I might find a person who's meant for me. And maybe whatever he did in his life got him to where he was, and he's the man he's supposed to be at 50, and maybe we find each other at 50, and that's how God wanted it to be. But God forbid, like, anybody goes off of faith here. Anybody goes off of, like, just the way the universe goes. To understand like that, I don't know. So that's how I think. So when we're having these conversations, so all I was trying to explain to this man is that maybe I understand what you're saying. Yeah, nobody's going to want a masculine, independent woman that is, thinks that she has to do it all herself and does it all herself and doesn't, soften up and let her man take care. But if it's a good man and she's a good woman, he will understand that, like, that's going to take some time. No woman that had to take care of herself, like me, like, and let's just go with me, for instance, and him, because this is what we're talking about. But he's like, but not make it personal, but it is personal. And let's just go where we're at. Let's just say this. Right? I'm 30. I'm not about to tell y'all my age. 26. I'm out of the 20s, y'all. Right? I have one kid. I have my bachelor's now. And I've never been married. And I've had some bad relationships. I had some serious bad relationships. Having a kid may take a notch off my belt. For certainly being plus size is taking a notches off my belt. To meet a good, successful, all the things I want. Nice, tall, chocolate, brown skin, nice smile, tall, nice body, 6 figures or more. It's just somewhere with aspirations, all of that good stuff. All the man I want in my dreams, Emotion that has good emotions and it's not crazy and just all of the good stuff, right? My chances may be diminishing for that. I get it. I mean, so I would be, and what he's saying is, like, more masculine, because I haven't had a man that I could just sit back and do it. I have not had a man that has done it for me. I always had more education than all my exes. I always had to be the one that would make the phone calls, that would do the things. Even if I hadn't, and I think I always was. I think I also made more money than the men that I was getting with. That's the way the cookie crumbled. When I was younger, I wasn't thinking about that. But now that I'm older, I definitely do and would. But when I was younger, I wasn't thinking about what they had, what they, like, for one, I had a child young, and I got a lot of money when I turned 18. So I already, I guess in my mind, I had more than the average people, like all the people I grew up with, more than my cousins, more than my friends. I always had just most. So I guess I always so I guess I never thought of it, and with ADHD, I just never looked at, like, them having a good education. I don't know what the freak my criteria was, to be honest. I was dating when I was younger. That's why I've been single for the past almost 4 years and non-sexually active for about almost 3 years, because I got some shit with me, and I need to get myself together, and I needed to soul search and figure out why I was having all these issues. With man. Sorry, I'm getting a text message, y'all. Go away, go away. This is getting really long, but what do I want to wrap it up and say? So I get that I would be the one that needs to soften off a bit. It would probably take me a minute to really understand and accept that there's a man in my life that can take care of some of that weight, that can take that burden off me, because I've never had it. Never had it. Even with a boyfriend. So I would move in a way where I would be very independent. I would move in a way where I wouldn't expect anything. I would. But I'm also a good woman that is looking for a good man that wants that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I would be able, if it was a good man, I would be able to understand this is a good man and I need to soften up. Even my tone of voice or the way I'm talking to them, I might have to change it up a little bit. I might need to be less softer. So I hate when guys are like, oh, nobody's going to take that. Show me a good man. I'll show you a good woman, a submissive woman. So I don't understand all of that talk about like that. What person wouldn't get their ish together if a good person came around? Some people just can't, and they do got a lot of trauma, and I get that. But what I'm saying is give the person some grace, because now let me tell you why I'm pissed at him, because we, especially as black women, young black women, we give black men grace all the time. We understand how the system and society F's them over. Do you understand? We've got men out here that been in the system. We got men that have not got their high school diploma, their education. We got men out here that has not gotten it together. A lot of these, like, you look at white men, and a lot of them stay with their parents 25, 26, or been out the house early. They go to college 18, 19. They might got a good degree and a good job working six figures at 22, between 22 and 25. Do you understand? That's not our black men at 22 and 25. They still living with their mama or just come home from jail. They don't got no high school diploma. And I can't speak for everybody, because maybe y'all been around people that's not. But in my community where I grew up, the losers that I dated and the people that I went to school with, this is who I'm talking about. And all the guys that I dated. So I can only talk about my pool and my experience. And also, that's on me for how I picked them, right? But I'm just telling you, this was the cesspool. Is that the right word? This was the pool that of my picking in the what was available to me. These were the apples that on my tree that I was able to eat from. And we understand all of that, and we still are with you, and we still try to help you, and we still try to pull you up. We give you grace. We don't make you feel bad for that. We just want you to love us, not cheat on us, and then now get yourself together. Now that you have somebody that can help you do that, but you don't have that drive, and you never wasn't planning on getting to that. Do you understand? And now I sit here and talk to this almost 30-year-old man about this that, mind you, has not had high school diploma, does not have a high school diploma, just got a good full-time job, just now not living with their mama, like has a roommate or something. He has a car, but the car is a piece of crap. And I'm not saying that to come at him, but I'm just saying that this is what you have, and that's okay. But understand that you are sort of kind of behind. You are behind as a 30-year-old. You understand? Because other men have that. First of all, my brother's 25. My brother has his own apartment, an own job, and his own car. And it is almost pretty much he has two businesses. My brother has a photography business, and he works with my mom at our family child care center business. Very well. Do you understand? My brother is not even 25 yet. So you're behind. So I had to try to tell it to him like this, like, because he was like, no, nobody's going to deal with that. No man's going to deal with a masculine woman. So how dare you not try to give a masculine woman some grace? When that's all we do is give you grace. I'm giving you grace right now. Do you understand? I'm giving you grace right now, because I shouldn't even be entertaining any of that. Because if I have my bachelor's and I have my own apartment, I have my own job and my own car, then why should I not be able to date a man that have the same thing? But black men, y'all behind. And that's okay, but we have grace to that. So please don't tell me you're going to get successful and then turn around and not give a woman grace because she's masculine, when you the only man that you right here, living and breathing right here, whether you sing or not, is contributing to her masculinity. Because we have to do it, because we ain't never had nobody in our pool that would. And you was one of them. He didn't like that. He was very upset with me. But that was just my whole point. And I wasn't trying to like give it to him like that. And I wasn't trying to say it to him like that. But like comment down below. Do you understand what I'm saying? But my whole thing is, anyway, you're absolutely right. Like, women, like, you being independent and acting like you don't need a man is going to keep you from getting a man. And I understand it. And also, I guess I also understand the whole thing, even though I'm like, dang, it sucks though, because we had to be like nobody wants to be like that. No, like, and I'm thinking like that's just not the life I will ever have. Like now that I have to be dependent, and I was raised independently, and I was raised from a single mom, and raised by a dad, like to be independent. My aspirations always will be school, modeling, act. Like I will always have those aspirations, and if I find a good man, thank God. But because like I was already tainted that way, being younger, I will never aspire to just be a housewife. I won't. This is, so it's like you gotta be give and take. I just feel like, why are we worrying so much about society instead of just worrying about us as a unit, us two. You might got some issues and some trauma, and you hear and you understand them, that you're working on them, and I got some issues and I got some trauma because of how I was raised and grew up, and I understand I'm working on it, and we're gonna work on it together. Why can't it just be that? But no, he got a right and wrong and right. What is the fight for? What is the fight for? Because you stand here next to me, next to a woman that you're dating, so you potentially maybe want to be in a relationship with one day or not, but you want to constantly say women delusional, women this, women that, no woman, no man. What is the point of all of it? I don't understand it. What is the fight for? What is the fight for? My fight is to be more successful, to figure out how to lose some freaking weight on my own without surgery or these fad diets, and be able to keep it off, get consistent, chop down some of this traumas. I'm a better mom for my child, help raise her and get her off, because my daughter is about to be 18, get her off to college, accomplish my dreams of being a model, or my YouTube platform, acting, whatever it is. It was always something in the industry, just to start chipping away at things I wanted to be. How to break generational curses, how to bring my family to, like, those are the things that I'm interested in. Those are the things that I'm obsessed with. And that's my fight for. So every conversation I'm having, even when I'm talking to somebody at McDonald's, or if I'm talking to a freaking librarian, a freaking advisor at my school, or a freaking supervisor at a job, that's always my fight. I'm looking at every situation I'm in, trying to figure out how this can better help all of those things I just mentioned. My ADHD, my weight, my self-improvement, generational curses, my trauma. I'm trying to figure out how I can soak up anything that can help any of that will help propel me forward in life, to accomplish my dreams, to find my purpose. That's what my fight is for every single day. In every conversation and everything that I do. Am I the only one that's thinking about that? So that was my whole topic for today. Like, what is your fight for? I love that JoJo Toller had mentioned that. Like, she was talking about, something different, sort of, but I think she was just saying, like, black men in the community, just people in general, just lose, like, they forget what their fight is for. And I just feel like that's been, like, heavy on my mind lately, and I've been always having those issues with people in just conversations. And I just gave y'all 3 examples, but these are the sort of topics that I want to talk about on my channel. I'm hoping that it resonates with somebody. I'm hoping you guys feel me. Comment down below what you thought about this topic, what you thought about any of the stories that I told, and how you feel about the way that I'm going to be taking this channel. I just want to talk about a lot of the things that I've talked about in this video, a lot of things that I am working on, a lot of things that I care about, that I'm obsessed with now on this journey to get myself together and finally accomplish my dreams and all of that good stuff. Yeah, I'm rambling. I hope this is not going to be an hour. I don't know if you guys listen to me for an hour, because I'm new and y'all don't know me. I was trying to keep my videos down to like 20-30 minutes. But when I get in the groove, I'm in the groove. And I'm going to try to go on with this productive day high and go to the gym. Wish me luck with that. If you like the video, subscribe or leave a comment, do all the things. I'll see y'all down below in the comment section. Bye.